Hey everybody, Jadato0616 here, bringing you another jungle commentary. This time we will be taking a look at the one and only Sad Mummy himself, Amumu. For runes, I am using flat armor reds, flat armor yellows, magic resist per level blues. Quintessences, I will be using Swiftness, movement speed. Start off with Despair. Um, you can start off with Tantrum. I don't really like starting off with Tantrum for for one big reason, is that it's got a 10-second cooldown and you can only use it once. Despair, while it has a mana tick on it, you keep it up and it's always hitting. I haven't done the number crunching as of yet. I plan to do that sometime later this weekend, but it might average out because I know Despair doesn't tick for too much damage. But that is something that I would really like to try out. Main reasons I chose Amumu this game was because we're not too tanky.
Let me give you a hug.
At best, Fiora can be a solid off tank, but 99.9% of the time she's built glass cannon anyway. Rumble, he gets tanky, but that's more towards late game. After he gets his Will of the Ancients and starts building into Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Varus, I've only played him once. I've played very few games with him, but he seems to be a glass cannon. So I don't think there's anything there. And Lulu being a support, if anything, she probably gets tanky over time. So as you see, start wolves. One thing that I see a lot of junglers not do lately is they don't start wolves, or race if they start on red side, which I feel is a big hindrance to their jungling. Because after you go to the opposite side, if you start blue and you start wolves and you go over to wraiths, wolves won't be up, so you're forced to go to golems or you're forced to go straight to red. I don't really understand the reasoning behind that, because in my personal opinion, and from what I've seen from other theory crafts and from other junglers via YouTube or tutorial websites, stuff like that, it's actually faster to go back and get the first camp you cleared rather than going all the way back and then going to red. So I always start wolves if I'm going blue. I always start race if I'm going red. After that, get a good leash on your blue. Once blue is out, go to wraiths, and then back to wolves, and then I believe we are at red. The enemy team ended up taking my red because Amumu is very mana dependent and can't really go without it. So I come down and I try to gank, and the Volibear gets in the way, which is probably a good thing because Varus doesn't have too much escape. So very good play by him. And looking at their items, reason why I ganked was because if you look at Varus's items, he started off with a Doran's Blade, and Volibear started off with a Regrowth Pendant. Even with a Regrowth Pendant, if he built into the support tree, which I highly doubt he ended up doing, I still don't think he can buy a ward with a Regrowth Pendant. I could be wrong on that, but I'm about 90% sure on that. So I knew that bot would not be warded, so that's why I attempted to gank there. As far as abilities go, like I said, I started off with Despair. I ended up getting Tantrum at level 2. At level 3, this is where you've got to make your decision. Do you want to gank, or do you want to continue to farm? If you see a ganking opportunity at level 3, take Bandage Toss, because you absolutely have to have that for ganking, because it's your only form of gap closing with Amumu. If you plan on farming, put a second rank into Tantrum, because Tantrum is the ability you will be leveling up first. Despair will be coming second. As you saw, I chose to gank, so I picked Bandage Toss. Just hitting level 4 right now, I put my second rank into Tantrum. Once again, coming bot. I stay here for a moment thinking they might have smartened up and warded. And I see this Varus poke out to farm, so now I know it's not warded. My health is very low, but I decide to go in anyway, which is probably not the smartest idea in the world. I have this Volibear following me, which kind of baffles me a little bit, simply because he could have chose to stay with his partner and may have taken out Varus a little bit sooner. But I do a dumb play there and end up going in with the very little health that I have, and it just didn't work out. You know, Varus was forced to go in. He ended up dying. He probably could have backed a little sooner, but, you know, him being forced to fight was completely and totally my fault because I tried to go in. As you saw, Volibear charging the Lulu did an amazing job polymorphing him before he could get the fling off, because Lulu might end up dying there as well. I have nearly 1,000 gold. I think I go back and I end up snagging a heart of gold and a couple of health pots. Yes, heart of gold and 3 health pots. The one good thing about Amumu is his stats in general are so ridiculously tanky that you can snowball with him really hard. You can get a lot of tier 1 items. You don't need too many tier 2, tier 3 items right off the start. He is very, very cost efficient. Like, you can get Kindle Gem, you can get Heart of Gold. You know, there are quite a few other tier 1 items that you can get with him that are just absolutely amazing, and your stats build so well off of them. It's really easy, really mana efficient. Unlike other junglers like a Master Yi or a Scion, you know, there are many others out there as well that require so much farm to get, you know, really good late game to their full potential. After blue, I roam up top. I see our Fior's in trouble a little bit. I go ahead and Bandage Toss, and since the blue nerf, I've had a lot of troubles with blue here lately. So we chase the Garen, and I hold off on Bandage Toss till I know which way he's going and toss it at him and then pop my ult. I could have tossed it sooner, but I wanted the for sure kill. I knew we could kill him. I knew we were going to dive him. We both had, you know, a lot amount of health. We both are doing quite a bit of damage. If the Garen was running through that bush, he could have went towards the base instead of going towards their tier 1 turret, which if I would have, you know, flung my bandage where I did, completely guessing, and he actually went towards, you know, their base, I would have missed, and we would have missed out on the kill. So if you can, you know you got the boots, know you've got the speed, and just, you know, follow as close as you can. Make sure you get the guaranteed kill rather than guessing, thinking they're going to get away. Right now I see their bot lane is pushed up pretty far. Our Varus is chilling at about half health, and our Lulu is just now coming back to lane. So I take the time and I snag red, and I believe I am going to make my way towards bot for a gank. We see the Volibear. Varus, for some reason, I really wish he would have popped his AoE slow there. We we probably wouldn't have been able to kill him, but it might have been pretty close. I would have liked to take a shot there. Um, as you saw, my epic bandage miss across the wall. And here, they decide to engage in a team fight. They know I'm there, so this is kind of... It's really strange to me why they did that. But, you know, they still got away, but, you know, I don't think they knew that I didn't have my ult. So, very risky play on them, because if I had had my ult, we would have definitely at least been able to get one of them, if not possibly two. Rumble gets ganked in mid, and ends up getting one. And here we go bot. I believe I just popped my ult. And I think we dive the bear? No. Varus goes in chasing. Volar bear with 200 health. Tried to get a couple autos off on him, but ends up dying to turret shots. So we are almost 11 minutes into the game. I've got tier 1 boots. I've got a heart of gold. Almost 1400 gold. I've got 1 point in bandage toss, 1 point in despair, 4 points into tantrum, and 1 point into curse of the sad mummy. So, you know, not a terrible start. My CS is doing great. Like, I've got the highest CS on my team, almost the highest CS in the game except for Garen. So, as you can see, you know, off to a great start. At level 8 is when I put my second point into despair. I don't start leveling bandage toss up again until level 13, I believe, when I have to start leveling it up. Here I go back. I end up getting a Kindle gem for the extra health and the cooldown reduction to help with my ult, which is, you know, pretty big deal because you want to get that thing on a real low cooldown because his ult is just too good. And this is what I was talking about. Level 8, I have no boost to my health and my runes. I think my masteries, I'm 0.21.9, and I'm level 8, and I've got nearly 1,800 health, which is absolutely awesome. Amumu stats are just, they're crazy good. So our Lulu peaks, and we thought they were doing dragon, so I pinged it a few times, and I was really hoping that they were going to take the Lulu bait right into the brush, but they didn't. The Varus slow from the arrows must have, you know, scared them away from that. I run down here through the brush, and since they didn't have any minions pushed to mid, you know, they don't know I'm here, so I let them push a little bit more, and I wait for Volar Bear's charge to go on cooldown. I pop my ult, and I continue to track down the Varus, because you always want to go for the carries. Lulu does an amazing job here getting away from this Volar Bear. Just a fantastic job, because that is going to put us at a 2-0 trade, which, you know, obviously, if you're going to do something, if you're going to gank, if you're, you know, going to engage in a team fight, you always want to come out ahead. And, you know, usually when you do that, you always at least lose one. It always becomes like a 2-1 or a 3-1 or a 3-2, but we came out ahead there with a 2-0, which is a huge plus for us. Going up, this is another reason why I chose Amumu in this game, is because I realized that our mid was a non-mana user. So with him being a non-mana user, I could have all the blues myself. If you notice in this video, my mana's been cutting it pretty low all game. even when I've had blue. So, if you're going to play a Amumu jungle, I really highly suggest, getting a Kennen, a Vlad, you know, a Rumble, just anybody that doesn't use as much mana, possibly even a Rise since he builds, on his mana pool. So those are the champions I would definitely suggest playing a Amumu with. If not, you're going to be going back to base quite a bit. We see them go through river. We know there are 4 there because there were 4 bot just currently. And we know we don't want to try and contest Dragon because looking at their team, Scion, Garen, Kassadin, Volibear, really, really tanky team, especially early game. And right now, I'm probably the only person on the team above 1500 health. So we really, really don't want to try and force it yet. So everybody just goes back to their lanes. We let them have Dragon, and we just go on try and CS to make up for the Dragon loss. Looking for a gank mid there. Saw the cast and then move up towards top. Just wasn't there. So now I'm moving bot. Again, checking to see if they've warded our try. They have not. And I really don't want to ruin this gank since I've got my ult up. So I don't want to try and go through river. So I just wait for Varus to overextend. As you see, I missed my bandage pretty bad there, but having Summoner Spell flash up, really helped. The Varus probably could have got away there if he would have kept running, if he didn't just stay in the bush. So we end up getting the double kill, and I knew I was going to die here, so I wanted to get as much damage done to Scion as humanly possible. But, it wasn't enough for Varus and Lulu to clean it up. But, it ended up being a 2-for-2 trade, which, oftentimes you want to avoid even trades. You always want to come out ahead, but with us being behind in total kills, it is currently 8-11 in favor of them. At this point, I'll take just about anything. So at 17 minutes in the game, we've got Ninja Tabby Boots, we've got Heart of Gold, we've got a Kindle Gem, a Null Magic Mantle, Ruby Crystal, couple health pots, nearly 1,000 gold, and we are 3-1-3 with 67 CS, still the top CS on the team. The 3 of them dive Lulu there, which is, pretty expected play. I don't think they expected the 3 of us, me, Rumble, and Varus, to be there so quickly. I get a lucky snag on Varus here and pop my ult. Now, I don't know if this was just dumb luck or if this was a terrible play on my team's part, but this Varus actually ends up getting away with how much health? I want to say he's under 100 health, and I try and get a blind bandage off here, but it looks like he just ran straight instead of actually coming straight to us. So very unlucky for me, but it was definitely worth a shot. The Kassadin runs around trying to protect his teammate, and we catch him in a corner, but because of how good his ultimate is, he's able to just flash out. I'm waiting here because I know blue spawns soon. I don't quite want to go back yet because I know they're swarming all the way around our jungle. You know, we've got the Volar Bear here, we've got the Caston here. Uh, so I'm very wary of going back. I see that my blue had just spawned, and top is in need of help. And I think me and the Rumble try and assist. I'm not sure if we get a kill here. Actually, yes, I think we do. Yeah, we end up getting a kill there. So support for, you know, a jungler, I'll take that trade any day. We ended up getting a bit more money than he did. Asking the Rumble for some help on blue because I've got no mana whatsoever. Snag it, and I think I clear wolves here and then go back. No, I do not. I see that bot's going to be in trouble, so I think the two of us are actually heading bot right now. So we end up trading turrets, but I believe Fiora ends up dying. Yeah, she ends up dying because, you know, she does work on this Cassidon and ends up getting greedy. Caston ended up living with, was that 62 health, 65 health, something like that. She ended up getting greedy, but, you know, it's understandable. We all get greedy. So, on my return, I ended up snagging a Fillstone and finished off my Aegis of the Legion to give my team a bit more durability, since that is a team AoE item. Snag red, and we see the Rumble gets engaged spawn here. I end up popping my ult, and at this point, just the AoE damage Amumu has is just too much. I stay on the Garen because I want to force him out of the team fight. I know if I force him out of the team fight that he won't be able to do any AoE damage to our team, since we're primarily a melee team with Fiora, myself, Lulu, and sometimes even Rumble. Rumble gets into the fray quite a bit. So we end up going 2 for 2 there. We lose Rumble and we lose Varus for their Garen and Scion. The one thing we need to start worrying about is Scion's getting pretty fed. He's 6'2" and 3. He's got 84 CS. He's already got a Phantom Dancer, an Avarice Blade, and he's got quite a bit of lifesteal, if you just saw a minute ago when we were attempting to kill him. Scion is always very strong and very powerful late game. Whether he's AP, AD, doesn't matter. The Scion's obviously building attack damage, so very strong, a lot of lifesteal. Auto attacks hit extremely hard. Go in here, not really know what I'm thinking, to be honest with you. I pop my ult to get away, and I believe they chase us pretty hard here. The entire team's here, and Varus stays in. I end up snagging the Scion that was polymorphed. Realizing that I'm still at about half health, but still have no mana, I think Varus pulls off his ult, and we all engage here. Lulu pops her ult on the Fiora, so that ends up being a 1-for-0 trade. which is good because they ended up looking like it was going to be, you know, a complete slaughter in favor of them. Fiora pulls amazing play right here and gets a double kill. Like, I remember when playing this game and she pulled that off, I was just in awe. I was like, that was pretty awesome. So I was happy I was able to get that on video. And this is where I became extremely sad in real life because they didn't have the blue.
Let me give you a hug.
On my journey back, I end up grabbing a glacial shroud um, to give me a bit more sustain in the mana department. They are pretty heavy in melee with Varus, Garen, and Scion, so the armor definitely isn't bad there. But the primary stat that I wanted off that was the cooldown reduction, so now we're looking at about 25% cooldown reduction on Amumu's ult, which is always nice. We see the Garen way out of position. We also see the Volibear. The Volibear is definitely going to be the easier target because he doesn't have the escape that Garen has. Garen's speed boost is much faster than Volibear's. I end up waiting. This is a very key play. I end up waiting to pop my ult for when more of them got there. I could have easily popped my ult earlier when it was just simply the Garen and the Volibear to, you know, guarantee our kills on them. But I wanted to wait because in a team fight, you know, those two champions are not our primary focus. So I waited to get more people in there. We end up getting the Scion. I snag the Varus. And Fiora ends up snagging the kill on him. So as it stands, our team has turned the game around. We're up 22-19, and we've even got turret lead. At about 26.5 minutes into the game, got 99 CS. We're 4-1-11, and we have a Fillstone, Heart of Gold, Kindle Gem, Glacial Shroud, Aegis of the Legion, and Ninja Tabby. We've got 2,559 health and nearly 14k, 1,400 mana. So like I said, none of these items are overly expensive, and yet they're all great items. So Amumu is definitely snowball champ. That was probably a little excessive there. I probably didn't need to use Flash, but you know, at this point we really didn't want him to get away. Because with him out of the picture, we can possibly look at a Baron attempt, even go for Dragon, but we end up not doing anything of the sort. Varus backed, and you know, as you can see, I've got blue, but my mana's low, and they're all up. We have no coverage. We've got a little bit of coverage on Baron, but we don't have anything to see if they've got wards over there. At this point, I should probably be buying oracles with how durable I am, but I end up not getting the oracles. We see that they're doing dragon. We come down. We end up barely missing the dragon, which is, you know, pretty sad. And a team fight breaks out. Ends up being a 4 versus 3. I stay with the Kassadin as much as possible because he's the carry. You always want to focus the carry in team fights for obvious reasons. I end up snagging him, but he ults right, you know, at the perfect time. Ends up coming back. I'm guessing he misclicked while trying to run. into Baron's portal, and it started sending him backwards towards the ramp, which is very unfortunate for him, very fortunate for me. I end up grabbing over the wall because at this point, I mean, look how much damage turrets are doing to me. I can even tank, champions and turrets at this point with only having tier 1 items, which is absolutely amazing. End up backing on the Varus because of the Scion. Once again, our Lulu's just done a great job of keeping polymorphs up on that Scion because, if the Lulu wouldn't have polymorphed there, that Fiora would have been dead, without a doubt in my mind. In this team fight, I think we stayed, well, not I think, we definitely stayed way too long in there. We should have gotten the inhibitor and we should have just gotten out. Them baiting us to stay in their base the entire time waiting for their team to spawn was good by them, dumb by us. There's really no excuse for that, to be honest with you. We end up getting one, but that's a 4-for-1 trade. You can't really be happy with that. While dead, I upgrade a couple of my items. So at 30 minutes into the game, we've got 117 CS. We're 7-2 and 13, and we've got a Shirelia's Revelry. We have a Force of Nature. We have a Glacial Shroud. We have Aegis of the Legion, and we have Ninja Tappy. I know I said the opposing team was quite a bit attack damage, so you're probably wondering why I ended up going with Force of Nature. That was an awesome team fight in a Baron Steel. But the reason I ended up going with Force of Nature was because of the speed boost. Like, I love the speed boost Force of Nature gives. It is just, it is an awesome perk to that item. As you see, their Cassidon's starting to get a little fed. So, that's something to consider as well. You don't want to go straight-laced on, one type of armor, or one type of, resistance. So, it's always good to spread the love for all types of damage. After that team fight and after Baron, we realized we can just win. So, we basically just go straight to the base, and we just pile drive through everything, and that's going to end up being game. I hope you guys enjoyed the commentary. As always, please leave feedback. Did you like it? Did you not like it? If you didn't like it, what didn't you like about it? If you did like it, tell me what you liked about it. If you have any tips, anything. Also, if you like these videos and you like the commentaries and there's a certain champion you'd like to see, please request. I've got no problem playing whoever in the jungle, and I'll get that up as fast as possible. Also in this video, I would like to thank my lovely girlfriend who played the Lulu support in the bottom lane, and my cousin who played the Rumble in the middle. So thank you all for watching. Please leave a comment, thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.